All right, let's jump right in. We've got a really cool story for you today that sits right at that sweet spot between rugged, tough as nails hardware and seriously powerful software. It's all about how one company took their secure GPS cases and turned them into a fully connected, intelligent platform. And this question right here, it really gets to the heart of the whole thing. For so many businesses, the old way of tracking things just answers one simple question: where is my stuff? But let's be honest, in today's world, that's just not cutting it anymore. You need to know so much more than just a dot on a map. So, first things first, let's talk about the core problem. What are the limits of just knowing an asset's location? Well, standard GPS tracking is almost entirely reactive. You find out something went wrong after it's already happened, when it's often too late. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got your traditional tracking. It's passive, it's reactive. It tells you where something is, which is fine, but limited. Now look at the right. That's asset intelligence. We're talking proactive. It's about knowing an asset's real-time status, its health, if it's secure. It's about empowering you to act before a problem ever happens. It's a total shift from reaction to prevention. And that brings us right to the company at the center of this story. They totally understood this limitation, and, more importantly, they had a vision for how to smash right through it. So, let me introduce you to LocShark. They're a Texas-based company, and they build these incredibly tough, seriously rugged GPS-enabled security cases. Think about super high-value equipment on a sprawling construction site or sensitive assets being shipped across the country. That's the world they live in. These cases were built for the absolute toughest environments. But here's the thing, LocShark figured out pretty quick. Just being tough wasn't enough. Physical protection is only half the story, right? To give their customers the complete visibility and total control they were asking for, they had to go beyond the physical case. They needed a brain for all that brawn, a really sophisticated software solution. And this is where things get really interesting. This is where the transformation from just a piece of hardware to an entire intelligent ecosystem really takes off. And we're not just talking about adding a feature here and there. This was about creating a whole new platform from the ground up. LocShark's vision required a platform with some serious horsepower. Yeah, live tracking was a given, but they needed so much more. They needed automated alerts using geofencing, the ability to monitor the health of the device itself, deep dive reporting, and get this, even remote security actions, like locking a case right from a dashboard. To make all this a reality, they brought in IT Idle Technologies to be their engineering partner, to design and build this entire software layer. And this is such a key distinction to make. The project was never about creating some fancy dashboards with pretty charts just for the sake of it. No way. Every single feature was designed with one goal in mind: to give users actionable intelligence, information they could use right then and there to make faster, smarter decisions to protect their assets. So how do they actually do it? How does this platform flip the script from being reactive to being truly proactive? Well, it all comes down to a few incredibly powerful features working together. At the heart of this proactive approach is a concept you've probably heard of called geofencing. It might sound a little technical, but the idea is actually super simple. You just draw a virtual fence on a map around a real-world spot, like your job site or your warehouse. And just like that, this virtual boundary becomes your digital tripwire. Let's walk through how this plays out in the real world. Imagine this. First, an admin draws a safe zone on the map. Now, let's say a piece of high-value equipment leaves that zone in the middle of the night. The second it crosses that virtual line, boom, an instant alert hits the security team's dashboard. And here's the game changer. They can immediately respond by remotely locking that case, no matter where it is. That right there is proactive security in action. But the intelligence goes even deeper than just where the thing is. The platform is also keeping a close eye on the health of the tracking device itself. And you might be thinking, why does that matter? Well, it's huge. Knowing the live battery level means you can stop a device from just going dark on you. Understanding the signal strength helps you figure out communication issues. It's the kind of operational data that turns out to be just as critical as the security data. Okay, so we've seen the tech, which is awesome, but what was the real-world result? What did all this actually mean for LocShark's business and, maybe more importantly, for their customers? For the customers, the benefits were immediate, and they were tangible. Of course, they saw a big drop in asset loss and theft, that's the most obvious win, but they also gained a ton of operational efficiency just by knowing where their assets were and how they were being used. And that leads to better utilization, and, ultimately, it builds this incredible trust in their security systems. And for LocShark, Well, this was a total game changer. They weren't just selling a durable box anymore. Nope, they were now selling a complete end-to-end asset intelligence solution. In a crowded market, that gave them massive product differentiation and really cemented their spot as an innovator in the industry. At the end of the day, this whole story is just a powerful reminder of a simple truth in our connected world. It's that seamless blend of hardware and software brought to life by some really thoughtful engineering that creates true visibility and real intelligence. And that's where the value is really found. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a fascinating question to think about. Just look around you, in your own industry, or even your daily life. What don't hardware is just sitting there waiting for a smart, digital layer to be switched on and unlock its true potential? The possibilities, you guys, are absolutely everywhere. Thanks for tuning in.